In this video, Bob's in serious danger again. This time, he's facing even deadlier challenges. I've upgraded my life-taking Lego builds and added some magical attacks too. There's no help for Bob this time. Let's see if he can survive any of it. Rule number 1, never mess with someone holding a gun, unless you've got a bigger one. But Bob is too confident with his sword, and that ends badly when he runs into Indiana Jones. What if there is more than one gun? A single shooter is already enough to take down Bob, but what about 4? Now, I've got 4 shooters, and I'm firing them all at once. Next, let's level it up. 21 guns, all aimed at Bob. For fair play, I'll let him dodge using this walking mechanism. But can Bob really survive this round? Apparently not. Even my hand took some collateral damage. Doctor Strange can literally punch someone's soul out of their body, but Bob doesn't buy it, so he decides to test it himself. After setting up Doctor Strange and Bob in position, boom, Doctor Strange throws a punch. Look, something's flying out of Bob's body. But wait, that's not his soul. Since Bob has no superpowers, Doctor Strange just punched his bones and organs out instead. This is Doraemon, and this is the Gulliver Tunnel, a gadget that can shrink anyone who passes through it. Go in from the right side and you'll come out tiny on the left. Sounds cute, right? But what if Bob tries it out? Let's send him in. And... oh, what's that? Bob's been turned into the earliest version of himself. Bruh. He really went back to the very beginning. Has anyone noticed that Lego minifigures don't have fingers? But would it actually be better if they did? I'm not sure, so I built a Lego hand with fingers. And guess what? It even moves when you wind it up. Things start to feel like a horror movie when Bob gets chased down by this hand though. This is a Lego rock, and this is an even bigger one. So I'm using this mechanism to build a lethal trap for Bob. My goal is for the rock to stay hidden at the beginning and then roll down toward Bob with a single touch. So I built this mechanism, which delivers a lethal blow to Bob with just one switch. Like the rolling stone, many dangers are hidden in the terrain, and Bob won't realize it until he's caught by a trap, just like these spikes suddenly protruding from the rocky slope. Also, never test the machine when you have no idea what it actually does. To look better, Bob went for plastic surgery. But little did he know it would actually dissect him. After all, every surgery is plastic when it comes to Lego bricks. Since Bob has already been dissected, I built this machine to make him dance, just like an iron golem in Minecraft. After all, he finally got more flexible joints as a Lego minifigure. More dangerous situations are waiting for Bob. Despite the fence underneath, this looks like a solid bridge. But is that really that safe? As I pull out the padding, the tiles on the bridge start to fall off. Bob loses his footing and gets pierced right away. This is a portal gate, and the aperture-shaped structure controls it to open and close. Bob tries to jump through until he loses his head. His horror movie continues when a biker discovers him. It's Billy the Puppet from the Saw movies. He reattaches Bob's head, but also chains him to the back of his bike. This is gonna be worse than a quick death. This is a Lego Panara plant. I modified it so that when Bob lands in the center, it mouth snaps shut and crushes him instantly. This is a strange tomb, and Bob decides to examine the dirt. But suddenly, the tomb explodes and the skeleton jumps out. It scares Bob to death, and now the epitaph is transferred to him. The trick is super simple. You can even build it at home to prank your friends. Next, we have a classic circus act. On top of a big round plate, Bob is firmly tied and the whole plate is connected to a gear rack. Lift the shaft and push it down, Bob spins along with the plate. Now we've got a luckier Bob performing knife throwing, but sadly, he's not a pro. Still remember my Lego guillotine? After the Industrial Revolution, I gave it a major upgrade. I combined a conveyor belt with an automatic chopping system. It hugely increases efficiency and creates an automated workflow. Let's test this monster with multiple minifigures. Now you can line them up to have their heads taken off. All you need to do is turn the knob. Next, we'll be testing this black hole box with Bob. Pull out the drawer and you'll see there's completely black inside. Put Bob in, give it a little shake, and he's gone. He's been transported to another dimension. Even if he manages to survive the teleportation, more dangers are waiting ahead. Even the simplest Lego cannon could take him down. Needless to say, he might run into the Raging Hulk. 3 Bobs together look like tiny minions to him. Wait, that's a bit too romantic. Let's start over. Hulk smash! Okay, that's much better. The earthquake takes down all the Bobs at once. And this effect is made by turning this knob. The red slope on the conveyor belt pushes up the axles in sequence, creating the earthquake effect. Moreover, you can easily create some amazing effects with simple Lego mechanisms. For example, by using the spiral shaft to move the black block under the tiles, you can recreate a scene where Voldemort casts a death curse on Bob. The cool part is, the curse actually flies toward Bob and knocks him down. This is a monster book. I'm building a driver's cockpit and putting Harry Potter inside. But don't assume Harry's the good guy this time. He's about to drive this monster and give Bob a lethal bite. In the last video, I introduced a lethal vacuum cleaner that sucked in Bob and turned him into a skeleton. This time, I've upgraded the big figure. I rebuilt the legs and added remote control functions. Now when I push the joystick, Giant Bob starts to walk. But apparently, he doesn't see the minifigure Bob and steps right on him. In Squid Game, there is a glass bridge where you have to guess which panel is solid and which one isn't. Bob joins the game, but he has no idea how it works. He just jumps on every panel, and unfortunately, this one is loose. The moment he steps on it, Bob falls straight down. Even a boring staircase can be dangerous. I built a special stair that can turn into a smooth slope at any moment. Just pull the beam and dumps Bob like a bag of potatoes. With a few extra gadgets, we can make Lego bricks move without even touching them. This is an Ebony Mao minifigure and can control objects with his magic. By using magnets, we can make him move the spikes and throw them to attack Bob. This method doesn't require any rails or gears, so the spikes look like they're floating in midair. Some animals are dangerous, like this giant spider that wraps Bob in this web, just like Frodo. But this Medusa minifigure is more dangerous. We're now all dead. But before that, she's going to turn Bob into stone. The moment Bob looks into her eyes, he's instantly petrified, all thanks to a mechanism hidden underneath the floor. Turn the switch, and the 2 minifigures will swap positions in an instant. This is an animal trap. The plate in the center holds the clamps open by blocking the axle in a very fragile balance. If we place a bait on the plate, anyone who touches it will trigger the trap and get clamped. The minifigure is too small until the big figure spots the cheese. Need a hand? Let me lend you one.